You know what I'm talking about, right? That constant quiet pain. The feeling that you are somehow not finished, that you have a basic flaw that other people don't have as you go through life. You look in the mirror and see a project that needs to be fixed. You look back on your life, your words, and your thoughts and find proof that you are broken. You can't shake this feeling. It is the quiet hum that runs through everything you do. You feel like you have to say sorry for being there. You need to make up for what you think you lack. You are the only one in the room who thinks they are failing a test that no one else is taking. They tell you to fix yourself. They give you answers, books, classes, and diagnoses. They tell you to be more confident, less sensitive, and more like them. So you have tried. For years, you've been trying to smooth out your own rough edges so that you can become a version of yourself that is finally acceptable and will finally feel whole. But the feeling never goes away. The fixing never stops. And the fatigue from this constant self-repair is very deep. When you look at the world, it seems like everyone else has it easy. They look so easy, so easy. Pay attention to them. Hear the sleeping world noise. It is a world based on doing well. People are loud and desperate for validation in this world. People come together to talk about their problems, spread rumors, and support each other's lies. They deal in anger. They define themselves by what they don't like and who they aren't. They are scared of silence because it might mean they have to face themselves. They follow shadows. They go after titles, acquisitions, and the approval of people they don't even like. Their conversations are like scripts for a play that they didn't write. They are scared of forgetting their lines because they are actors in a play that they didn't write. This is the game. The world's big, loud, crazy game. They want you to play with them. They need you to clap for them. You need to agree with them. They need you to take part because not taking part is a threat. It is a mirror. It makes them question the very stage they are on. They want you to think you're broken because if you're not, then their whole world and way of life might be wrong. But something is different about you. You aren't playing anymore. You know what the game is all about. You have seen the cables. You can see the tiredness behind the smiles, and you can't act like you don't know. This is when the awakened archetype was born. It doesn't make a lot of noise when it comes. It's a quiet exit. You are the one who has started to pull back, not out of fear, but out of understanding. You want to be alone, not because you don't like people, but because you can't stand the noise anymore. You can no longer take part in trivial performances. You don't explain yourself anymore. This is the big change. You used to think it was your job to make sure everyone understood you. You would wear yourself out trying to put your thoughts and feelings into words that they could understand. You would say sorry for how deep you are. You would soften the truth to make it easier to swallow. But not anymore. You now know a deep truth. You can't explain a higher dimension to someone who is comfortable in a lower one. If someone has only ever seen a puddle, you can't explain the ocean to them. The person who has awakened is not a preacher. They don't debate. They don't have to win the argument. They don't need to change anyone. They have stopped trying to be understood. When the world gives you drama, gossip, and invitations to be angry, you are just quiet. You nod, you see, and you leave. This quiet is not empty. It isn't weak. It is a deep, unbreakable strength. It is the strength of not reacting. They think you're being rude when you're quiet. They think you're not interested because you're calm. They think you're weak because you pull back. Let them. Their point of view is based on their own world, not yours. You are not on trial anymore. You have quit being your own lawyer. You have learned the quiet power of not explaining yourself to people who are determined to get it wrong. You have learned how to save your strength. You only talk to people who can hear you, and you only offer your quiet presence to people who can't. This is not a failure. This isn't you giving up. This is smart. This is the last grown-up thing you can do to protect yourself. You have finally figured out that your peace is worth more than their approval. You have finally put your own mental health ahead of their approval. You are not for sale anymore. You are no longer looking for people to serve on a jury. You don't have an endless supply of energy. It is valuable. And you have made a quiet, firm decision that it will no longer be used for auditions. It will be used to live. This is the area where you live now. It's quieter, it is more clear, and still. That old label and pain still ring true. Broken, not good enough, and flawed. Why does it still hurt? Because you haven't finished the last reframe yet. You are no longer in the old world, but you still have its judgments with you. Let's break down this judgment right now. That label, broken, inadequate, flawed, is the worst mistake you can make. It is not your truth. It is the designation that a subordinate level of consciousness must attribute to a superior one. It is unavoidable. When the sleeping world, a world based on artifice, performance, and comfortable illusions, meets real authenticity, it doesn't get it. It can't. A two-dimensional consciousness is incapable of perceiving a three-dimensional entity. It can only see a problem. Your depth threatens their shallowness. Your honesty shows how well they are doing. To them, your quiet refusal to play the game seems like an attack. So they have to pathologize you. They have to tell you that you're broken, too sensitive, inadequate, or lost. Why? Because it's the only way they can keep their own illusions safe. If you're just different, if you're seeing something they aren't, then everything they think is real is wrong. That is way too scary to accept. It's a lot easier for them to call you flawed than to think that they might be sleeping. So keep this in mind. Their label doesn't mean anything about you. It is an admission of their own weaknesses. When someone says you're too sensitive, they're admitting that they've numbed themselves. When they say you're too quiet, they're admitting that they're scared of silence. When they call you broken, they are admitting that your wholeness makes them feel like they are falling apart. You are not broken. Their rules just don't work on you anymore. The pain you feel isn't because of a flaw it hurts to change. It is the stress of having to live in a lower system with a higher level of awareness. So let's get rid of their awkward names. Let's stop trying to fix a work of art that they think is a mistake. Let's look at the truth instead. Let's change our definition of what is real. We will call this journey the 3 marks of the authentic soul. 1. What they mean by inadequacy is really the rejection of artifice. That nagging feeling that you don't fit in, that feeling that you are losing at their game. You need to know that this does not mean you failed. It shows how healthy you are. Your soul is rejecting a system that is bad for it because it is your true, original nature. You are not too weak for the world. You don't fit in with its false ideas. A healthy bird can't live in a cage, but the cage will say the bird is broken because it doesn't like the bars. A fish that is healthy can't breathe polluted water, but the pollution will call the fish weak for not adapting. You are not broken. You are a living thing in a world that isn't real. That feeling of not being good enough is your spirit's way of telling you, this is not the way. This is not my home. This is not the truth. Instead of trying to fix the compass, you should have been listening to it. Your perceived flaw is actually your best guide. It shows that you are alive. 2. What they call oversensitivity is really clear perception. You are not too sensitive. You are just not numb. People mistake your clarity for a mental illness in a world that thrives on noise, distractions, and emotional bluntness. You hear the words, but you also feel what they mean. You can tell that their smile and energy don't match. When you're in a crowded room, you can feel the static of being fake. This isn't a curse, it is a more accurate awareness. They have gotten used to the noise. They have turned down the volume on their own lives so they can handle the noise. You said no. You have stayed aware. This is why their world wears you out so much. It's not because you're weak. It's because you're aware of the chaos they have agreed to ignore. Being sensitive is not a bad thing. It is your radar. It tells you what is true. It shows that your soul is still paying attention. Don't let a world that doesn't feel anything make you think that your feeling is the problem. 3. What they call brokenness is really the mark of original perfection. This is the best way to reframe things. The parts of you that you have tried to fix, your intensity, your depth, your need for meaning, and your quietness, are not broken. These are your original traits. You were born whole. You were not a project that needed to be finished. You were a truth that needed to be lived. But the world tried to change you. It tried to smooth you out so that you would fit into a smaller box. That feeling of being broken is the sound of your original perfection fighting against that box. It is the sound of your soul not wanting to be squeezed. It is the part of you that remembers what it was like to be whole, and it won't accept the broken identity that the world gives you. You are not a broken version of them. You are a full version of yourself. Your brokenness is what makes you whole. You won't fully disconnect from who you really are, even if it costs you everything. It is the most holy, strong, and complete part of you. So, this is the new way, and you need to know that this path costs something. Living by this true diagnosis, your clarity, your authenticity, your original perfection, is not a path of celebration. The world of sleep will not reward you. When you stop playing, the other players don't cheer for you. They will first try to pull you back, and when that doesn't work, they will act like you don't exist. You will be misunderstood at a great cost when you wake up. This is the valley of understanding. It is lonely by its very nature. You will sit with your family, go to work meetings, and listen to old friends. It will feel like you are listening to a language from a long time ago. They will talk about their worries, their problems, and their complaints, and you will feel a huge, quiet distance. Not a distance of superiority, but just a distance of difference. They don't care about your worries anymore. The shadows on the wall make them nervous. You are worried about the light that makes them. They will think you are arrogant because you are at peace. They will think you are judging them if you don't say anything. They will think you're cold if you don't react. Let them. You have to be okay with being the bad guy in their story. You have to be okay with being the one they talk about behind your back, the one who changed and the one who thinks they are better now. Their misunderstanding is the cost of your honesty, and it's the best deal you'll ever get. You are no longer part of the tribe. You can still go see them and love them, but you don't belong to them anymore. You own your own truth. You are no longer looking for a home in what they all agree on. You are turning into your own home. This loneliness is not empty. There is nothing to be afraid of. It's a place. You have made it a clean, quiet, and holy place. A place where you can finally hear yourself. A place where you can finally stop acting. You traded the hot, stuffy air of the crowd for the cool, clear air of the mountaintop. Yes, it is lonely, but the view is complete. You can see. You can really see for the first time. And so this is the big yes. You have my permission to stop explaining now and forever. You don't have to write a dissertation about your inner world for anyone. You don't have to give them a map to your heart. You don't have to explain why you're at peace to them. They won't understand your silence as an answer. They can't figure out how to calm you down. It is a way of life. Let yourself be okay with disappointing them. This is the most powerful freedom you will ever have. Their disappointment is based on their own needs, expectations, and scripts. It's not your fault that they're disappointed. Let them deal with it. Let them deal with the fact that you won't play the part they wrote for you anymore. When they ask for an explanation, don't say anything. When they want to argue, give them your peace. If someone calls you broken or flawed, just remember that they are admitting their own flaws. Let yourself leave if you want to. Leave behind the arguments that make you feel bad. Leave the people who want you to be small behind. Leave behind the never-ending, tiring show of proving your worth. This is not a hostile act. It is the most sane thing to do. You are not turning them down. You are finally choosing yourself. Your energy is holy. It has a limit, and from now on, it is not open for auditions anymore. It is no longer available to a world that will only see your depth as a problem. Let them live in their loud world. Let them win and lose. You have found something much more valuable. You have found the peace. You have found the truth. You have found the deep, unbreakable strength that comes from no longer needing to be fixed. And that's your journey. If this path of getting back to reality speaks to you, please sign up and turn on your notifications so we can keep walking together and learning more. Now, let the world fade away. Let their opinions fade into the background noise. Let the tension go from your shoulders, the stress of always trying, the stress of fixing. Go back to your center, to the simple, quiet awareness of your own breath, in and out. This is the only truth, this quietness, this presence. That feeling of being broken was never true. It was a tale. You got that opinion from someone else, and you can put it down right now. You are not a problem that needs to be fixed. You are not a task that needs to be done. You are not a problem that needs to be fixed. You are a truth that needs to be lived. You are complete. You've always been complete. There is nothing wrong. There is no place to go. This is all there is. This moment. Be quiet and know that you are whole.